my hand in everybody's face. Sorry for the jiggles at the beginning. We're going to see if this works. I just tried to go live and it cut off abruptly. So, let's see if we went live this time. It says I'm live. There we go. Audio's not too far staggered. Okay, I'm on. Sorry about the false start there, you guys. No pun intended. What do I want to smoke right now? I think I'm just going to do a quick smoke. I just made a video that's not uploaded yet about the 8701 shape in a couple of the Rossi series. This is the rusticated sitting, but I also now have a smooth finished Rubino Antico 8701. But anyway, I don't have one of those in my personal collection, but since I had this one out, I'm gonna smoke it. I'll smoke some Haunted Bookshop. I'm fresh out of the barber's chair. Got these sides trimmed up and the back before I hit mullet madness. All right, people are filing in. Welsh Piper says it's the second live he's going to miss due to work. Sorry about that, man. But, you know, as far as other signs of the end times, this is my second live in a week, like this week. I did one 2 days ago. This one's probably going to be a bit shorter because I picked a slightly smaller bowl. And I'm getting hungry. I haven't had lunch and it is 3:25. So probably not the brightest idea for me to smoke Haunted Bookshop. But here we go anyway. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've loaded the bowl too high. Do you see that? A little bit. This one isn't so bad. There's a little bit after the bloom of the light sticking up past the top. I can't tell you how many times I've overloaded a pipe. I know better and I do it every time. It's just like when I get a bowl of cereal, I almost always put too much cereal in the bowl. Thankfully not to flood it over, but I do it so much with pipes. All right, and away we go. Hope everyone's still enjoying Pipe Week. I'm going to try to get, I just made 2 videos before I went live. I'm going to try to get those uploaded here in the next, probably I'll do one tomorrow and one on Monday or something like that. Nothing earth-shattering for you guys that stick to the live streams or catch the live streams, because one is announcing and showing the 2 Phoenix shapes from Peterson that I've got in. and the other one is presenting the Rubino Antico version of this shape, the 8701 from Rossi, which I've talked about both of those in my live streams. I don't think it was 2 days in a row, Nathan. Wasn't it Wednesday when I went live last? Maybe I'm wrong. I may be wrong. Now I gotta check. My pipe's gonna go out while I check. That's all right, we'll relight it. Great. I searched for the. Yeah, so I went live. Good grief. $6.21. So yeah, 2 days ago. I thought so. But good to see you, Nathan. Well, to hear from you. What's everybody doing today? How's everybody's day been? And what, if anything, are you smoking? Of course, beyond my packaging of orders and email and phone calls and whatnot, I managed to make it to the post office and the barber shop, which is just down the street from my post office. Also got to do a pretty good bit of reading today, which I'm getting back into the habit of reading. I was going really strong there for a good year. I love to read, I just don't make the time for it quite often. But around February of this year, I just kind of stopped, and I'm not really sure why. So between February and the beginning of June, I didn't read much at all. And I have kind of a bad habit of starting a lot of different books. Kind of like I have the bad habit of opening a lot of different tobaccos. And what happens is you never get to the end of the book, any book, and you never get to the end of any 10. All right. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the last video from the Pipe Cottage from Alan Harrelson, he announced that he was leaving YouTube and starting his own pipe-centric social media platform. So if you haven't checked out pipecottage.com, you might want to do that. As far as social media and forums and this, that, and the other, I don't really have a good track record of checking in on those things, but I did go ahead and go over there and make an account and check things out. Actually, I returned a few days later. So maybe I'll remember to check it every now and then. And he's got different reasons for that, for leaving YouTube. I really want to make a video about that, so I don't want to ruin that video by talking too much about it here. While I do understand where Alan is coming from, the long and short of it is, I'm going to stick with YouTube as long as I can. But we'll really get into the details and the specifics of the Pipe Cottage and the Pipe Nook, and two different points of view as far as that goes in another video. Not that we're at odds or in disagreement. I really like Alan. He's just decided he's going to call it quits with YouTube, and I've decided I'm going to stick it out for now. What do we got in the chat? I tell you what, this time of the day, my eyesight tends to not be as good as in the morning. Nathan, where are you moving? Somewhere still in the area? Seems like you might have mentioned that when we met up. Nathan's local to me. If y'all didn't hear that in the last live stream. Damien, Grandma likes the casino, huh? TPI, hey there. We're at 30. Seems like because I don't do a regularly scheduled live stream like I used to. It's just whenever I can fit it in, whenever I feel like it, honestly, because here's the thing about regularly scheduled live streams. Sometimes you don't feel like doing them. I mean, quite honestly. And when you don't feel like doing a live stream, when you don't feel like turning on the camera, maybe you don't particularly feel conversational or have anything to share, I think that comes across in the live streams. So I only do live streams when I feel mentally prepared for them, when I feel positive about them. And there honestly were some live streams when I was doing them on a regular schedule that I just wasn't feeling it. So that was part of my decision to let that go. Of course, also the family schedule got pretty out of control there for a while. We have 2 kids in 2 different bands, school bands. A kid taking dance classes. 2 of them are involved in 4-H. And there's any other number of extracurricular activities. So the regularly scheduled live streams, I just wasn't able to do it anymore. But yeah, since I'm not doing a regularly scheduled live stream, it's just catch as catch can. Seems like 30 to 40 people in the live is about where I land. So it looks like we're at 30 right now. That's a good number. When I have 50 or more in live streams, it's real hard to keep up with chat. Central Cal Piper, good afternoon. I almost bit down on my saddle bit. That probably would have hurt. Oh yeah, thumbs up. Thank you for the reminder. It is definitely summer, you guys. I think we hit 90 again today. I need to get my mini split out here looked at because it's not exactly keeping it nice and cozy out here. I'm at 78 degrees out here right now, which is fine, you know, in the heat of the day. Typically, I don't stay out here during the heat of the day. I do my pipe nooking in the morning hours, and then if I've got more to follow up on, I come out in the evening when things start to cool down a bit. I can deal with 78 for a short time, but and what's funny is when I go outside to smoke on the back porch, it'll be 90 degrees out there, but I'm in the shade and there's a gentle breeze typically, and I can deal with 90 degrees versus 79, 80 degrees in here. Just feels different when you're outside in the shade. So, Flat Cap Piper is doing the Pipe Week, end of Pipe Week presentation on Saturday, isn't that right? I think he messaged me, it was Saturday at 6. "6 p.m. Eastern." Yep. Okay. He offered to let me hop on and do a cameo, but I'm not going to be available at that time. We have our church meets on Saturday nights usually, and so I'll be at church at that time. We start at 6 o'clock Central Time, which would be 7 o'clock. It'll probably be over by then, but I got to drive there. So I'll have to watch the rerun of the Pipe Week presentations. Randy, have a good lunch. Yeah, sometimes I forget to eat lunch too. It's not that I forget to eat lunch. I try not to eat lunch, or at least wait until late afternoon to have lunch, early evening even. Well, I can't think of anything else to share with you guys today. We got 4th of July coming up. What is it? Not next weekend, but the Tuesday after that. So we typically go to one of my wife's uncle's houses for holiday get-togethers like that. We're still going to meet on that Saturday, I think. But then I've got an actual 4th of July event to go to. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of hamburgers and hot dogs on that extended weekend. Oh, but so I was talking about reading. Getting back into the swing of reading. I like to have 3 to 5 books going at a time. But I tend to get hyper focused on one to the detriment of the others. And I really try to make sure that the subject matter or the genres are different across those 3 to 5 books. But I think I've got 7 or 8 books going right now, and a couple of them are overlapped genres. So that's no good for me. And I read really slow. I'm a slow reader, which you wouldn't think from an English major, but it is so. Missed the start. Well, Nick, this is my Rossi sitting 8701 shape. We were talking about the fact that I now have the 8701 also in a smooth Rubino Antico pipe. And I'm smoking some Haunted Bookshop. Y'all know me. I would say in the past 2 years, probably close to half of my videos I'm smoking Haunted Bookshop. But back to the reading. So I'm not even gonna, I probably won't even remember all the books that I'm in the middle of right now. But I'm reading a nonfiction business-related book called The Barefoot Executive, which is about, home-based business owners. For quite some time, I've been reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which I can't say I recommend, honestly. I'm not through it yet, but there's some good stuff in there, but there's also some really outdated concepts, I think. Things that I just don't agree with. But, and I'm reading the facsimile version of the first edition of that book. Not that my goal is to grow rich, particularly in my home-based online pipe shop. But I do like to try to challenge my mindset on business and future business endeavors, hopefully. So that's where those 2 books come in. I just started reading the very first Isaac Asimov's magazine, science fiction magazine from 1977. That's been interesting. Yeah, but when it comes to books like Napoleon Hill, that I may or may not agree with everything therein, an old pastor used to tell me, eat the meat, spit out the bones. Which, loosely means take what you can from pretty much anywhere within reason, and, don't internalize or take heart to the things that don't make sense to you or you disagree with. Pipe Ninja, welcome. And James Berger, hey there. I haven't been sold out of the Stanwell 9mm filters, Mullard. I'm out of the largest one. I think it's the 200 count and the 100 counts. Okay, I take it back. I've been out of stock of most of the Stanwells, well, half of the Stanwells. So I've got the 10 packs, and I believe I still have some 40 packs. But yeah, I don't have the larger quantities of Stanwell. They've been back ordered for a good bit. Oh, Phil. Phil at Briar Reports graced us with his presence. Phil, I've got plenty of the Phoenix pipes in those two shapes. I think I'm just under, or I'm at or just under 20 of each in stock. So we're doing all right as far as availability. Not so much as far as sales, so y'all come buy a pipe. Summer is rough, when it comes to pipes, the pipe sale business. Because so many people just, are seasonal pipers, or at least don't think about new pipe acquisitions in the hot months. Just happened to locate me. You got me on GPS? Sounds like we got a helicopter overhead. Maybe they're trying to locate me too. GLP's Montgomery. Mullard, I have not tried that particular blend from Mr. P's. I don't think. Doesn't ring a bell. Let's look it up. On tobaccoreviews.com. Virginia Burley. Okay. My guess it would be fairly close to something like Briar Fox from Cornell and Deal. Oh no, that's the blend type. So it has dark fired Kentucky in Virginia. I probably would really like that. And it would be fairly significantly different from Briar Fox, which is just Virginia Burley. And Michael, that's good. I'm a seasonal piper too. Fall, winter, spring, and summer. Just those. David Dixon, welcome. Oh, I see. I haven't been following the Blend Club selections. Is he still doing the Blend Club? What other books have I been reading? I'm still going through the Sherlock Holmes books, but I've been stuck in the memoirs of Sherlock Holmes for some time, which is one of the short stories, not the novels. I'm reading a book by Philip Yancey called Reaching for the Invisible God. It's had some really good insights. I really like Philip Yancey. I think he's a great Christian author, modern Christian author. Oh, let's see, what else? I just finished a Dragonlance book. I'm going through the early Dragonlance books and then the Lost Chronicles, which are more recent, like 2006, 2007, that I never read as a kid but always meant to. I'm trying to get through C.S. Lewis' The Four Loves, which honestly has been my least favorite of any of the books I've read of him, from him. It's really dry, really high style of scholarly writing that, I mean, it's just largely over my head. So that one's been slow going. If you haven't read any C.S. Lewis, I would recommend the Screwtape Letters and Mere Christianity. They're very different books from the one I'm trying to slog through. Nathan, that would be just fine. I would appreciate that. And I'll bring you some university flake. But remind me. Have I read My Lady Nicotine? No, I have not. I haven't read The Great Divorce yet, but I definitely would like to get to that. Seems like I acquire books faster than I read them. And that's been a problem for 20 years at least. We've been going through, my kids have all been going through Star Trek The Next Generation. I think it's hilarious. They love it so much. Now that they're done with that, they're watching DS9, which I wasn't a super fan of DS9. It's okay. But for me, TNG was the sweet spot as far as Star Trek shows. But now that they're done with the TNG series, we're going through the TNG movies. And those have problems, but they're still fun. That's another Lewis book I haven't read, The Pilgrim's Regress. Is it a lighter style of reading, hopefully, than his more scholarly works? Because those tend to be the ones I like the best. I never feel unintelligent until I try to read a scholarly book. I tend to like books that bring those kind of high-minded ideals to a common speech or a common prose level. Where are we at? We've been going 37 minutes, and I said I wasn't going to go all that long. Jimmy came in late on the live. What's the pipe you're smoking? Well, smoking a 8701 Rossi sitting with some Haunted Bookshop. Well, that's true enough. Time flies when you're hanging with great people. Yep, I love the Screwtape Letters. I think I've read it twice now. I just read Mere Christianity for the second time just this last year. I don't know that C.S. Lewis tried to be fancy pants. I think he was just of the intellect that it was probably easier for him to write in the high style, as I call it. and probably harder for him to write in a more down-to-earth manner. I may be wrong, but you know, his space trilogy series, or his space trilogy that he wrote, I really loved Out of the Silent Planet, and I really loved, I think it's pronounced Paralandria, which was the second book. But the third book, which is longer and really convoluted to my mind, plot-wise, I had a real hard time with that one. It was called That Hideous Strength. And to me, it seemed like it just wasn't as strong of an ending as it was, as the first two books were. Talking about entertainment as far as what we've been watching on TV. My wife's been watching Scarecrow and Mrs. King, I think on Tubi streaming. It's one of her favorites from when she was younger. And she's got my kids watching that. I might enjoy it if I watched it, but I had more fun making fun of her about it. Indeed, Phil. Indeed. So, on Father's Day, I'm not a stickler for celebrating things on, like Father's Day anyway, on that particular day. So the kids wanted me to pick what to have for dinner. I was like, let's just do what we normally do on Sunday evening for dinner, which is typically takeout, something like Zaxby's or Panda. Uh, there are a very limited amount of takeout options that you can easily feed a family of 5 for under, for under $35 these days, without really cheaping it and going to Wendy's or whatever. But so we had Zaxby's Sunday night, and then last night we got Texas Roadhouse. So I've got some leftover steak that's calling my name. Have y'all seen that old Three Nuns ad? I've seen it here and there. That said something like contemplating 3 nuns. uh, yeah. Has a different connotation if you don't know it's talking about what the tobacco is, you know. Any kind of steak sounds good. Man, I could take that steak out of the fridge and just eat it cold. I won't. I'm going to warm it up. Oh, I'm sure the Three Nuns now is different from what it was back in the day. But it's gone through a few changes, if I recall. What's leftover steak? It's what you eat after you eat. Yeah, well, you know, believe it or not, Texas Roadhouse also has chicken, which is really, really good. So I ate my salad. I had a couple of rolls with their crazy awesome butter. It's like an apple cinnamon butter, I think. Had some steak fries. I ate half of my steak, and then I had some of the chicken that everybody else was enjoying. Oh, and I got some sauteed mushrooms. Sorry about that, Nathan. Don't mean to make your stomach grumble. Yeah, when I'm eating in a restaurant, I don't have leftover steak, but we did take out for that as well. Which is so wasteful with all the plastic. But, you know, we do it for special occasions. I'm not fanatical about recycling and whatnot, but I try to be a little conscientious. You know, we do have a recycling bin, and I know for a fact that our local recycling center at our local landfill doesn't recycle everything that has a recycling symbol on it. I think it's like numbers 5 and higher. There's like a number in the middle of the recycling logo. They don't recycle. Which, of course, is what those containers are from Texas Roadhouse. They should really change that. Perique Piper Skip. You're catching the tail end here, buddy. I'm closing out my third pipe of the day, I think. Am I stepping on Chad right now? On Chad's live stream? In the beef industry, eh? I do my part. Okay, Chad's not on yet. Yeah, I've got a friend who loves steak. Maybe even more than me, if that's possible. And he's always said, I can't afford to eat steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I don't know if it would be healthy for you or not. But I sure would like to find out. Yeah, steak's one of my very favorite foods. Steak, sushi, pizza. Firehouse subs. All right, you guys, I said it wasn't going to be a long one, and we're closing in on the hour. So before we go over an hour, I'm going to cut it short. And I have talked about steak long enough. It's time to put my money where my mouth is. So I'm going to set this pipe down. I'm going to go eat. You guys have a great rest of your evenings, and we'll chat with you again soon. Talk to you later.